Alright, so this is another video for the Coleman 295 dual fuel lanterns, or for any dual fuel lanterns. Now, depending on the lantern you have, it may be different. But for these lanterns, the 295As or the 295, the regular ones, these are very simple to use. Now, the way to light these is you gotta, put fuel in it. So here I have a bag that comes with the funnel. The funnel is right over here. There it is. So it's like a check valve kind of like thing. So you just pretty much like open the cap and then you screw it on nice and airtight, and then you just fill it up until until no more gasoline is pouring out from here. Once you see that the fuel level in the funnel is no longer going down, then that means that it is at the proper fuel level. You pull it out, let it drain out, and you're all good. I do have some spare mantles in here, including the Coleman brand ones that came with my lantern, but I didn't use those. I used the cheap Amazon ones that you can get like 40 pieces of them for like $10, $13, $15. And they're pretty big mantles too, as you can see. Now, once you get it fueled up, you make sure that this is all the way off, and then you just undo this. As you can see, it was already unlocked, but you just unlock it and then you just pull it out. Now, doing this one hand is going to be difficult, so once it's out, you take your fingers like this, put your thumb on the hole, otherwise it's not going to pump air in, and then you just pump it about 30 to 35 times. So once you get about to like 35 pumps, I recommend 35 or 40 just in case. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get a lighter like this. I highly recommend these lighters. The fuel does not last very long if you're going to use it for like lighting cigarettes and all that crazy stuff. It's only good for just a quick light. So I do not recommend using these to burn in your mantles or anything, because these do not last very long. So I would recommend these regular Bics because they do last longer and they don't use a whole lot of fuel. So the first thing you're going to want to do once you get it primed up with fuel and you primed it up with air is you first look for the holes on the bottom on the main bracket, and you just stick this in. Now, I am doing this one-handed, so it will fireball on me because, it's not going to be an instant. Oh, look at that, tree frog. Yep. So yeah, I got me a little buddy here, so yeah, he's going to be my little assistant. So yeah, so hang in there, buddy. Anyway, so you just stick this in, and then you, with your other hand, you turn the knob. Now, it will fireball on me, like I said, due to the fact that that it's gonna release some vapors. So I'm gonna try and do this quick. So you just open it, go in, and then you just light it. Now, for some reason, it did kind of light up pretty quickly. Because it was already hot, I had to turn it off to do it. But normally, it would fireball and it would come out from the top of the lantern. As you can see, there's some soot on here from that. And then what you do is you let it run, and as you let it run, it's going to heat up the generator in the middle. That's where your gasoline is going to get heated and evaporated or vaporized by the heat of the flames coming from your mantles. Don't worry if your mantles get carbon deposits on it from this. They'll burn right off once they get lit. It'll take about like between 5 to 10 seconds for the mantles to actually poof up and actually start burning. Once they start burning, what you do is you go ahead and undo the pump again, and then it may be a little bit dim at first, but if you want the lantern to be nice and dim like it is right now currently, I'm going to turn the light off. You can see it's not super bright, but if you want it to be extra bright, let me see if I can get my phone here so you guys can see better. You just pump the lantern until you get your desired brightness. So you just keep going and going and going, and you're going to see it's going to get brighter as you pump it. Again, it depends on how bright you want your lantern to be. So you just pretty much pump and pump and pump until you get it to the brightness that you want it. And right now it's starting to get brighter and brighter. Eventually you're going to get to a point where the lantern mantles are going to get so hot where it's going to give off a nice bright white light. which is what I like to use. It uses more fuel than usual. Usually it'll last between 6 to 8 hours, depending on how adjusted I adjust it. But once you get it to your desired brightness, you just pretty much close the pump, lock it in place, and then as you can see, it is very bright now. And then you can see how it lights up even better around here. So depending on how much, if you're trying to conserve your fuel, then I would recommend just don't touch it. Just give it like maybe 5 or 10 pumps once you get it lit to get the pressure back up. But if you want it super bright and you're outside, for example, and not in your tent, then you could pretty much just pump it up until it's nice and bright. But if you do use it in a tent, now I am homeless, as you could see, and there goes my little assistant buddy. He's on my bike right now. What you would do is you would you just take the window on your tent and you take it down, and then if you have a tent like mine, you can see there's mesh here. Carbon monoxide tends to rise, so what you want is you want some ventilation on the top as well. If it's not raining, I would take the tarp off, and you can definitely use it as much as you want. But as far as raining and stuff, I highly recommend you leave your windows open halfway, or as open as wide as possible, just to keep yourself from being poisoned. If you're sleeping, it won't be an issue because carbon monoxide goes up, and so if you're laying down, you're not in the danger zone on the top because you got ventilation on the top. But if you have a fan, battery powered fan, I recommend that you take the fan, you put it on the roof of your tent, and you have it blowing out to get all the gases out, which is what I do sometimes. Only if I have to have the tarp on. But as far as the lantern goes on how to light it, it's super simple, super easy. It's also pretty quick. Once you get it down a couple times, it should be pretty quick and easy, and it should take less than 5 minutes to get it started. If you're a first timer, I do not recommend using these lighters or short matches. I recommend using the long lighters for this purpose, because first timers might actually not know how to do it properly, and it will fireball on you. And that has happened to me a couple times when I was first learning how to use this lantern. I was also learning how to get the mantles to have a really beautiful shape like this. Because I've heard a lot about people, not lighting the mantles and just letting the gasoline burn the mantles and then letting it burn in by just lighting the lantern. That's not the proper way to do it, because then your mantles will end up wrinkled. And when they're wrinkled, then there's going to be a lot of hot spots. You want the mantle to burn evenly. So in the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to change your mantles on a Coleman 295A or any kind of Coleman lantern, because any mantle lantern that you're using is going to be the same process. The only times that is going to be a different process is if you're using like a Coleman North Star, where you're using the accordion type of mantles, or those little miniature propane or miniature lanterns that uses a ball shape mantle with like a hole on the top and bottom, and then it's got like a little peg for the gas, and you have to slip it on like a sock. Now that's a different type of lantern, but I am going to get me one of those on my next paycheck, so I can show you guys how to use those, how to properly light the mantle, how to put the mantle on, and that way you guys can have an idea on how to use that. I'm also get a Coleman North Star with the accordion type of mantle as well. I'm just trying to collect, lanterns, modern lanterns, vintage lanterns, any type of lanterns I can get my hands on, because I do love mantle lanterns. And me, again, I am trying to get myself my own piece of land and live out of a nice canvas tent. So the tent life is for me. I don't really like living in buildings. I just hate it. Neighbors and loud neighbors and, mortgage and electric bills and all that stupid shit, But anyway, as far as lighting these are super simple, super easy. This is using straight gasoline as well. You can literally use any kind of fuel that is like white gas, but if you're using diesel or kerosene requires a preheat. Diesel will require more of a preheat, but I'm pretty sure you guys can find videos on how to modify these lanterns to run on kerosene and diesel. But as far as lighting the lantern, very easy, very quick, and hopefully you guys learned something from this video. And the next video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to change the mantles on your lantern. So stay tuned for that. I am going to be posting that within a day or two. So yeah, just leave your comments down below, leave a like. I am going to be giving some more outdoor tips as well. I was in the Boy Scouts for several years. I was in Troop 500 in Hinesville, Georgia, 31313. That's the zip code. The troop is like right behind a little baseball center over there at the at Hinesville, Georgia. So I kind of have pretty much plenty of experience being outdoors and using these lanterns. But if you guys want to have me make a video on how to change the mantles down and how to do it properly, and I'll also show you what happens if you do light these mantles while it's still on, and lighting the lantern without pre-burning the mantles. I will show you what happens when you do that. So if you guys are if you guys want to see that, let me know, and I'll give you guys a video in the next day or two on how to do that and the consequences of doing it the wrong way. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy the night, have me a couple snacks and have a cigarette, and you guys have a enjoy the outdoors, papa. So alright, I'll see you in the next videos.